first of all, there's the drama before now because everybody knows he starts on time. And you went in and there was a setting for an airport. And since last time the set had been so amazing that they built this giant train, everybody was, oh my God, are they going to land a plane? Are they going to land a plane? And or maybe is Marc going to take his bow in a helicopter? You know, what's going to happen? But in fact, it was good old-fashioned visual greatness.
I totally loved it. It was beautiful, it was so graphic. I loved the escalator idea and the girls looking a little bit like robots. It was great. So it has lots of fantasy and lots of new ideas, and it's always a very inspiring show each season.
We were inspired by the work of Daniel Buren, by his installations and his artwork, and well, his installation with the escalators inspired the set, obviously, but what really inspired the proportions of the collection and the idea of doing Damier, again, or checks and a grid, was his work called Les Deux Plateaux. It's a grid consisting of columns in 3 lengths, and so that's what we did, short, medium, and long lengths.
I believe this show was really like a wonderful synthesis of Marc design and Daniel Buren colors, and you know, the most famous trademark in the world, the Damier. So it's a perfect kind of way to deliver a very strong brand message, but with the colors of an artist and the genius of a fashion designer.
First of all, to focus on that Louis Vuitton square, that multiple square, and really, instead of making it feel like he was doing something commercial by focusing on it, he made real beauty out of it. He showed why artists, someone like Solowit or Ellsworth Kelly with those cutout flowers, why artists can choose a subject and spend their lives on it and never get bored. And that sort of was that. You know, sometimes in fashion, it's got to be a little bit of that, a little bit of that, this year, this, that. And he just showed how if you have a vision, the audience will be there. And it was really great.
It was exactly like the Einstein on the Beach piece with the Robert Wilson Philip Glass music we used during the show. I sat through 4.5 hours of that opera with great pleasure. And at the very, very end, the last 6 minutes, comes this beautiful story of love. And after all this math and all this science and all of this sort of repetition, then you get this beautiful romantic tale, and it really kind of touches you. So the flower was kind of the same thing, but we wanted to keep it as kind of non-romantic and non-meaningful in a way. So it just became a positive, negative sort of stencil.
It was a perfect show. I mean, perfect. And you could have known because Marc Jacobs itself was this extraordinary focus on graphics. It was one idea, but my God, how rich that idea.
It was such a good way to end Fashion Week in Paris. Gorgeous set. Einstein on the Beach by Philip Glass as a soundtrack was absolutely gorgeous. And the clothes were just breathtaking and very unique. I think anyone that see any of those looks in the streets now are going to remember this show. Very memorable.
Oh my God, it was literally the most mind-blowing show. I mean, just the escalators on the runway, the clothes were so precise and perfect and 60s, but not in a costumey way, and it all just was perfect.
I thought it was so much fun. It's such a great way to end Paris on a very pop, 60s upbeat note, really fresh, clean, and I think it sums up this season in a lot of ways, which is about like a correction. I think last season people went so baroque and over the top, and the only place to go from there is to really like clean it up.
We've been working with Marc for more than 15 years. We've been one of the old couples of the fashion industry, and we didn't need to talk a lot to understand together what we wanted for the company.
God, he brings so much. He changes everything. I mean, just look at what spring was between New York and London. All those lace, colorful, beautiful, pastel-colored laces really were all from the runway from last spring. I mean, he changes the conversation, and he inspires not only us, but he inspires the population of designers all over the world. And that is really something that is remarkable.
I think in fashion, we definitely look first at the products, and the women are looking at the dresses or the bags. Say, is it for me? Yes. Can't wait to see it. But the show is an opportunity to bring additional emotion. It's a sort of loudspeaker for the designer to say, yes, I've created a statement, and it's just to emphasize his creative statement. But I think from the music to the view of all the models going up in the escalators and Marc running down later on, I mean, it's one of those moments where you love fashion.